Many people believe that Jesus' birthday was on Christmas, but this is actually false. So, in the book of Luke, chapter 2, it talks about the birth of Jesus. And something that's very important, it talks about who was in power and what was happening at that time. So, it says, at that time, the Roman Emperor Augustus decreed that a census should be taken throughout the Roman Empire. And it even tells us who was governor, Quirinius. Um, and everyone returned to their hometowns during this, but that's not important. What's important is who was governor and which Augustus it was under. So with a little research, we can find out when the census was taken. Now, if you do a basic Google search looking at Quirinus's rule, you'll find that he ruled from 6 to 12 AD, which would have been after the birth of Christ and after the death of King Herod. So it seems like a contradiction, right? But this is actually false. See, Quirinus ruled twice, once from 8 to 4 BC, and then from 6 to 12 AD. So we know the time frame of the census is between 8 and 4 BC because that is when Quirinus ruled in Syria for the first time, and that is also when King Herod was in power. So now, with all of this, we know the time frame, 8 to 4 BC, but now we need to know the month and the day. All right, back to Luke 2. So in Luke 2, it talks about the shepherds and the angels. Now, shepherds typically didn't leave their sheep out like it's described in the Luke 2, out in grazing in the winter months. They simply wouldn't do it. They would keep them inside. But there's more evidence than just this. We can look at astronomy. See, in Matthew 2, it talks about visitors from the east. This is the name of the chapter. And it describes how Jesus was born, king of Herod, but it also says something very interesting. Where is the newborn king of the Jews? We saw his star as it rose. We have come to worship him. Now, his star is describing something in the sky, a star, right? So if you look at astronomy and we look at the dating of the time periods, it only could have taken place on 2 dates and 2 months. Now, by looking at the astronomy, we can figure out it's either in one of 2 months. And the year, or in 2 BC, in June, Venus and Jupiter crossed and made a star. This could possibly be what the star of Bethlehem could have been. Or it could have been October of 7 BC, where Saturn and Jupiter crossed over one another. But basically, what I'm trying to say here is Jesus was not born on Christmas Day. This is fact. He was either born on October of 7 BC or in June of 2 BC. Neither of those dates are Christmas Day, obviously. So with basically 100% certainty, we can say Jesus was not born during the winter, let alone during December. If you like content like this, I'm on my computer explaining biblical topics and really stuff like most people believe about the Bible. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. I make short form content. Be sure to check that out as well. And I hope this video blessed you. I'll see you in the next one, and bye-bye.